Flosstube. I'm Katie Cat, and this is Cross Stitching in Chaos. Today we're here at Potter Marsh. It is part of the Anchorage Coastal Wildlife Refuge Center, and it's a beautiful area. I hope to show you around at the end of the video. We have already seen mergansers, several other kinds of birds, and even a small moose. But it went into the foliage before we could get a picture of it. But if you're ever in Alaska, come to Anchorage. This is just outside of Anchorage. And again, it's Potter's Marsh, and we will show you a short video of it at the very end of this Flosstube. But let's get into my stitching. I feel organized again. I have a list. Haha. Today is September 25. You will probably not be seeing this until October, as per my usual. I wanted to talk about Whip Go first because it's the most organized thing I have, I guess. They called the numbers today. I wanted to talk to you first about the Whip Go that I did this month. So I was working on Arctic Arc, and I started it. That was a new start. And I know it doesn't look like much, but this is over 1,000 stitches. It's not a huge piece, but it's a decent piece. You can see this is the door to the arc. This is part of the arc, and it goes way up. And this is actually a little polar bear that I'll be stitching, but this is the progress that I got, and I'm pretty pleased with it. 1,000 stitches is nothing to sneeze at. My next project I completely forgot to bring with me today. It's Thy Word. You know, Thy Word from Leisure Arts is my Saturday project. I've gotten a decent amount done on it. All of the stitching on the main piece is pretty much finished. I'll show you a picture here. It's pretty much finished except for the back stitching, and then I have to stitch the curtain on the side of it. And I'm making great progress. I have to do about 350 stitches on it until the end of November, and that's only working on it 1 day a week. So I'm super excited about that progress as well. So I get to mark those off of my Whip Go board. So the numbers that were called for October, I think were 14 and 17, 14 and 19. I don't remember the numbers. You'll have to go to the Whip Go Facebook page to find the exact numbers. But I know my projects. My projects that were called are my Wounded Warrior. That is a work in progress for me. And it is right here. So this piece I started a year ago because I was super desperate to work on a cross stitch, and I was visiting family and I had forgotten all of my cross stitches, and it was very sad. And they happened to have cross stitch supplies. So I went through and I found this cross stitch in a Leisure Arts pamphlet. Isn't he beautiful? I grew up in the South, and I used to visit the Cowboy Hall of Fame, which has history of Native Americans and cowboys and the West when it was developing. And this guy just like pulled at my heartstrings. I was like, I have to make this piece. I love him so much. I love the story behind him. I mean, it's a horrible story, but I love it. So I'm currently stitching on this. The reason I stopped stitching on this, and the reason it's on my Whip Go board still today, is because my lovely offspring, Stitching in Chaos, you know, they were drinking Kool-Aid, and they spilled Kool-Aid all over my piece. So there's pink, and I could not get it out. And I don't know if you can see the pink. There it is. Right there. I could not get it out. And it made me so mad because look how much progress I got on it. But I didn't know what to do. And at that point, I wasn't well versed in, like, I can 10 stitch and cover that up. I could even grab Kool-Aid and sprinkle it on the paper like it was supposed to be there, because it's like a sunset scene, and that would fit right in. So I could either dye the cloth or I could 10 stitch over it. But I didn't know that at the time, and I got really mad at it, and I put it in timeout. Well, now it's out of timeout. It was called by Whip Go, and I get to work on this beautiful piece. It's a decent sized piece. I'm doing on 14 count white Aida from Joann's, just generic fabric. And you can see the horse. He's pretty intricate, but it's not confetti. So it's like there'll be a line here, and a line here, and a line here, and a line here, and there's just a whole bunch of lines. But it's not confetti. So I am looking forward to doing him this next month in October. So my second project that was called I was not prepared for it at all. I just ran out like an hour ago, half an hour ago even, and got the floss for it because I wasn't prepared for it at all, but it got called and I'm so excited. So, my sister is the easiest thing in the world for me to cross stitch for. Person in the world. She's not a thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Missy. I love you. She loves everything. She's excited about everything. She loves everything from fairies to like Christmas to, I don't know, sparklies. Glitter is her favorite color, and if you argue that glitter is not a color, she will get you. Glitter is definitely a color, and it's her favorite. So I was going through this cross stitch magazine from 2019. This is volume 23 of the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas. And I found some Victorian houses in here, and she collects house ornaments. And for Christmas, not this year, but next year, I thought that this would be an awesome, awesome thing to make her. She loves houses. Just one moment. Again, Potter Marsh is a really lovely place to come, and there's lots of people, so I will occasionally be pausing the video. It shouldn't affect you too much since you're just watching it and it's instant, so it's awesome. But every once in a while, you'll see a blip. So this one, she loves Victorian houses. She's a very, like, girly girl. She loves pink, and so this is just going to be the perfect thing for her. She loves winter. She loves Christmas, and I don't know if you can see, but there are little snowflake, like, I think they're, what do you call them? French knots? I might do them in beading because that's a lot of French knots. But I ran out and I grabbed all of the floss that I needed for it. And I don't like doing called for fabric. So I picked up this Lori Holt vintage cloth that I thought I would do. And then again, I thought I might tent stitch some blue around it to get that blue into the sky. But I really liked the idea of doing Lori Holt fabric. This is a 25 count. I've never worked with 25 count before. It seems weird. It's like 14.5 count equivalent, and it's weird, but I'm looking forward to using it because I've never used it before. So this will be really fun to start for WIPGO in October. And now it's time for all of my other projects. So I wanted to tell you about my Dark Queen of the Earth. I've not done much progress on it. She is lovely, and I plan to finish her, and I did stitch on her, but she's not the focus right now. I'm trying to get other projects done before Christmas. But Dark Queen of the Earth is definitely a thing, and I've almost finished her entire arms. You can see she's a lot more handsy than she was before. They come all the way down and they kind of meld into this wood here. And this one is the one that's not quite finished. I still have some in the middle here. And I have some coming up here for her to meld into the wood a little bit better. But the arms are a thing. And then I've started the bottom of her. So I decided that since everything's been released a few months ago, I don't have to do them in order. And I'm okay with that now. I wasn't okay with that last month, but I'm okay with that now. And I wanted to start on her legs, so I have. I've started right here. Oh, and I also stitched my bug. Remember, I've been telling you since I started Flosstube, that I was going to stitch a carrion beetle. I was planning on stitching two, but I didn't like to because I had two ladybugs and it just felt too symmetrical. So I only stitched one, and it's not back stitched yet. But right here, there's my carrion beetle. It didn't turn out quite the way I was hoping. You know what? I'm sorry. That didn't look like a carrion beetle to me. There's my carrion beetle. Right here. There. Right there. It's a little orange beetle. I haven't backstitched its legs or its antenna yet, but it's coming. So, but this log is getting a lot more full. I still have this little part in the bottom, and then I'll be done with it. It's a lot of procrastination for one little bug, isn't it? I still have not stitched the bat. The bat is going to be right here for food for the snake. And then I still want to check in on shoe bills. I have to stitch the flower here, and then I want to see if I can fit a little shoe bill in there. So those are still in my plans. All right, I have some good news. So my next project I want to talk to you about is Treasure Island from Owl Forestry. I found my missing floss. I'm so excited. I found my floss. So the floss that I had lost that I was super bummed about, and I didn't know if I should just order one extra floss because I wasn't sure it would be the same like dye color and I'd have to rip everything out and restitch it, or if I should order a whole new set to make sure I got the correct color, because I don't really understand their color organization on their website. I don't know. So I thought I'd order a whole new kit floss. I ended up not doing anything, and it's a good thing because I found the floss and I got to finish part 1, and I got a good start on part 2. So this is my treasure island. You can see I finished the stars, and I finished the sun, and I finished the border on the scroll up here, and I started on the house. I was a little bit nervous. You know, variegated floss is always kind of tricky to work with, and I did it different this time, but I really like how it came out. The sun, however, I'm not sure I like the sun. So if you look at the sun, the face, there is a face there. It's supposed to be the same as the moon. See how nice and dark that moon face was? But again, it's variegated floss. So when I went to stitch the sun, the floss wasn't quite as dark in that area. And it ended up looking like it had little sunglasses on. And I think that's adorable. So what I want to do is I want to backstitch the sunglasses in a little darker floss to see if I like the face. Because if I end up not liking it after that, I will rip the face out and put a new face on. That sounds morbid. But you know we're talking about cross-stitching, so we're all good. But I thought the sunglasses around the sun was super cute. So in this little area, I've done 700 stitches. And this area was about 1,400 stitches total. So I've gotten some progress. And I'm excited about that. It's still a really, really cool piece. I think they've released parts 9 and 10. It's a free pattern, again. You can just go on Owl Forestry, and if you want to pick your own floss or do whatever, you can just start it right now. Or you can order a kit from them. And they've got really cute little needle minders, and they've got like a whole kit for this. So you should look it up because it's a really fun project. So the next thing I have for you is my Seasons of the Heart Summer. I did work on that this month. This is the progress that I got on it so far. I'd say I'm a little over halfway through with this actually. It's turned out really nicely. I really love this little bee here, and there's another bee in another part of the pattern. I still have 5 days left in this month, and I plan to use it doing this one. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to start on the autumn, which is right here. So this is future plans for next month, which is kind of appropriate, October, autumn. But I have to finish this one first. So it's looking really nice. I got, let's see, I'm trying to think how it was last time you guys saw it. I got most of the heart done, at least half of the heart done. Probably I only have like a quarter left. I did the water pot and the flowers here. I finished the beehive and the flowers here. So I got quite a bit done. And again, once that's finished, I'll just go right into this one. So you might be seeing this one next time in addition to the finished summer. So my next project that I wanted to talk to you about is a Nora Corbett. I keep calling her in my head, I keep calling her Nora Corbett. That's completely incorrect. It's Corbett. It's a little tiny one. It's the Sunflower Fairy that I was starting, and this was a new start this month, and it's almost finished. So I don't know if you can see, but her wings are super sparkly. So I did use Krennic floss in addition to sulky floss. And they do sparkle, and they're so pretty, and they were really hard to do. I really hated doing the wings. But yeah, she turned out really great. This was for Sunflower September. The sunflower, I still have a little bit left to do in the top, and then this part comes around into there's a little bud right here, and then there'll be petals falling from both sides to frame her. This will be a present for my auntie, She tried to grow sunflowers this year, but Alaska's growing year was really strange, and they're growing, but they're not going to be able to flower in time before winter comes. So, but I really liked the colors that I picked for her. I really like the fabric. This is Bestitch Me fabric Aventurine, and she turned out really nicely, or she is turning out nicely. So my next project, you guys might chuckle, I love Christmas, and I love stitched Christmas pieces, and I love watching people stitch Christmas, but I have a hard time stitching Christmas by myself. Like, I don't know what it is. I just don't like stitching Christmas. I love Christmas, and I love the ornaments and the projects that people do, but I have a hard time. So this was supposed to get done last month, and I said, well, I didn't get it done last month, but I'll work on it this month. So it's supposed to get done this month, and it's just this tiny little thing. I'm sorry I failed you all. It's this tiny little thing, and the heart's not even finished because I have to stitch in all of this white part. And then I have to do all this green part down here. I'm failing, which means next month I have to stitch 3 of them. So, but it's progress, right? It's progress. I don't know if I don't like them because they're too small. Maybe I need to try bigger ones, but that would take too long. But it's taking an awfully long time when I don't feel like working on Christmas. But that's what I have done on my Christmas ornament. I was trying to think of what I was going to work on after I have my Christmas pieces finished. And I don't mean the Christmas ornament. I mean my Christmas present pieces. After I finished the fairy and the blue flower and the thy word, I don't know what I was going to work on. So I got my projects out and I thought, what do I want to work on? But my problem is that I'm getting ready for WIPGO for next year in my head. So I'm planning on the projects that I want to work on with my WIPGO board. And so I wasn't quite sure what I want to save for next year and what I want to start working on now. So what I chose was that I'm going to start working on my dragon. This was a WIPGO piece this year. I've already worked on it. You guys have seen my progress. It's super cute and I really love it and I want to continue working on it. So this is on the docket for after I finish the sunflower fairy. Just to remind you, this was the progress I got this year on WIPGO. I had some progress before. I had to rip it all out. I couldn't figure out where I was. So I restarted it, and this was the progress. My mom saw this and said, "Oh, is that a rabbit?" And I was, "You're so cute." So it's not a rabbit. These are the dragon's horns. These are flowers the dragon is on. It's in this lovely dream catcher. But after I finish the sunflower fairy, this will be one of the pieces that I will be working on. Another piece that I want to be working on is my Sephiroth piece. So if you've watched before, I really love video games, but we've decided that video games are not very healthy for our family. We get too distracted with them instead of doing actual life. So we have since stopped playing video games, but I still enjoy the lore and the storyline about video games. And Final Fantasy VII, the original, was one of my absolutely favorite games. In fact, it was probably my favorite game. So I found a piece on Etsy that has a really iconic scene, and it's a cross-stitch pattern, and it's from my favorite video game. And I loved it, and it's Sephiroth in the burning village of, I don't know how to pronounce it, Lindblum is what I always said, but we'll put the name of the cross-stitch in the place where you can find it in a banner right here. And then the Mako reactors in the background. Anyway, this is the progress that I have on it. You'll notice the fabric is dirty. I did spill my coffee. It is a full coverage piece. That does not matter. Yay! So, you can see this part right here is where Sephiroth's hair starts waving out, and this is a really big piece. It's going to take this entire fabric to do. So this is actually a large piece. I would probably equate it to a small heaven and earth design. But right now I'm just working on the black and the dark brown that's around the top area. And so after I finish the projects that I have for Christmas, I'm going to work on. This one hasn't gotten very much attention because this one is for me. This one's a specific project that I want to stitch for me. And I would prefer to stitch my other pieces that are going to be presents for other people first. So You haven't seen that project before, but that's one of the ones that I would like to work on after I have finished the projects I have for this year's Christmas. Another project that I thought I would work on after the other projects are finished, I thought I'd start my Dark Queen of the Sea. So this one's a bit of a conundrum. I'm doing it as a companion piece to the Dark Queen of the Earth because I think she's really pretty. I love the fish that are around her. But the Dark Queen of the Earth is a present for my sister-in-law, and I have previously stitched a mermaid. There's an airplane, sorry. I don't notice it anymore. Alaska has a whole bunch of airplanes. Like, everyone goes out and gets their pilot's license and flies around, so a little bit of background noise. Never hurt anybody. But the Dark Queen of the Earth is going to my sister-in-law to celebrate her jiu-jitsu accomplishment. She got her blue belt, and it was super exciting. And I have previously stitched a mermaid for her to begin her journey. It was the Mermaid Warrior. I can put a picture right here. My husband can put a picture right here. So she doesn't need another mermaid. The Dark Queen of the Sea, she's not a mermaid. She's an octopus. She's like Ursula, but prettier. And they are companion pieces. It's the Dark Queen of the Earth, the Dark Queen of the Sea. You know, there's also going to be a Dark Queen of the Air and a Dark Queen of, I think, Fire, he said, which sounds like really exciting. But she doesn't want it. Like, she'll take it. She'll be super nice. She'll be super like, oh, thank you. That's a lot of work. You did good. But, like, it's not something she's interested in. So it's hard for me to get stitching on it, even though I want to do it, because I want to say I did both of them and they're all really pretty. I don't know what to do with the piece once it's finished. If I could just give it to her knowing that she would appreciate it, like, in earnest. Like, she'll love it. Like, that's not a problem. She'll love it. But she'll be like, well, I already have that mermaid and now I have an octopus. And I don't know, just kind of weird. But if I could find someone that would be excited that I could give it to, I would be a lot more interested in stitching it. But it's still on my list, and I still do want to stitch it. So this was an option for next month if I run out of things to do, which is highly unlikely. But on the off chance that I do run out of things to do, this was on my list. I wanted to tell you about some cross-stitch accessories that I really enjoy. Last time I told you about my scissors and something else. I don't remember. Go back and watch my previous floss tubes. You'll find some more cross-stitching accessories. This time I wanted to tell you about my lamp. So I like to stitch late at night when everyone has gone to bed, and my husband is very tolerant. He does not mind if I leave the bedroom light on, but it can bother him, and I don't like to bother people. So we got this neck lamp. It literally goes around the neck, and each one has 3 brightness settings, and you can see they work individually. So I can have one on and one off, or I can have both of them on, or I can have like one on low and one on medium. If my eyes don't like to work, like if my left eye is working worse than my right eye, I can put the left one on high and put the right one on medium. It's kind of goofy, but that happens, you know? So I've got this nice little neck lamp. I got it on Amazon. It wasn't too terribly expensive. It was like $20 or $30. Gold Coast, I think, is the brand. You can see right there. And it works awesome. It's like a bright spotlight on my cross stitch whenever I'm cross stitching. It's super cool. This would be the time where I would normally show you my Be Stitch Me fabric of the month, color and neutral. I didn't get it yet. I don't have it yet, but I had to do this video early. And I wanted to tell you, Be Stitch Me is awesome. I love their fabrics. I'm having a slight issue. I ordered something like 9 or 10 weeks ago, and it's still not being processed, and they can't give me a processing date, but they do say that you can get your fabric 3 weeks to 13 weeks out. So it's been 9 weeks and counting, and I'm still waiting for my cross stitch project, and that's what I was supposed to do the frog on, the test frog that I talked to you guys about earlier. It's horrible to settle. You know, you want to do it on the fabric that you've picked out that you're excited about. But if this person needs me to start test stitching the frog earlier, I'm going to have to settle, but I'm hoping to wait just a couple more weeks to get my fabric. I woke up this morning to a post from them on Facebook. They posted on their Facebook that they went into work this morning and 3 of their rooms were flooded. like full of water, and they have to do all that cleanup. Oh, there's another airplane. See, they're everywhere. I'm gonna wait, because that one's like directly overhead. I'm just gonna sit here and look pretty. So I'm anticipating, because of the flood that they had in their office building, that they probably will not have my fabric within 13 weeks. And I'm very frustrated, but it's not their fault. They gave me expectations. I was just hoping that I could get it sooner, and I know things happen, and I'm completely understanding. It's just disappointing. But they did work with me on the fabric of the month, so I am a little bit ditzy. I was on Stitchy Box. Stitchy Box is a they ship out like countdown boxes, and in the box there's a package for like number 1, number 2, number 3 for all the days of the month, up to 30. And they give you really, really cool stitchy things. They give you like charms to hang on your fabric. They give you beads. They give you specialty flosses. They give you 2 patterns. I've gotten a pair of scissors out of a Stitchy Box. I've gotten a little bag out of a Stitchy Box. So it's really neat. You never know what you're getting, but it's always a theme. So I was on Stitchy Box website seeing like the different ways that you can pay for it, and I didn't like one particular way. There was a big blue button that said pay here, so I clicked on that to explore my option, and I didn't like my options, so I went to go back to a different option that said there was a big blue button, and I was like, well, that's what I clicked on last time to get to this payment option screen. So I clicked on it again, only it wasn't a pay here button. It was a confirm payment button. And I was like, no. So I accidentally, and my husband believes me, so don't argue, but I really did accidentally purchase the autumn Stitchy Box, the autumn countdown Stitchy Box. So I was unable to purchase the fabric of the month options for Bestitch Me because I'm a ditz. And I emailed her and I said, I'm so sorry, I cannot pay you in time this month because I did a bad thing and ordered accidentally a different stitching thing. And she said, that's okay. If you haven't paid the invoice by the time I'm ready to ship them out, then I'll just skip you this month and we can resume next month. Or if you can pay me by that time, go ahead and pay me, even though it'll be late payment. You can go ahead and pay me and I will still ship you the color of the month and the neutral of the month fabrics. And it was so sweet. It really was so understanding, and she worked with me. There was open communication. So I'm getting both. I got away with it this month. So the next video you should see, my boys like to open my countdown boxes with me. So I'll take number 1, my oldest will take 2, my middle child will take 3, and my youngest just comes in whenever and was like, I want to open 1, and then he'll open 1 and run away. So I'm going to do an unboxing for you next time, and hopefully I'll also show you the fabrics of the month because I didn't get them in time for this video. But if I don't show you in the unboxing day, because I may forget because I may be like super excited for unboxing, I'll show you 2 fabrics of the month next time. And that brings me to my very last thing for this Flosstube. My boys have gone on to WinStitch and they have decided to start designing. And we don't do Halloween in our house. We dress up throughout the year. We don't dress up for Halloween. We don't do scary movies. We don't do monsters. We personally do not believe in ghosts. So things like that. But they have decided that the one thing that they want to design are monsters, of course. And I'm like, go for it, design the monsters, see what you can come up with. And they both have designed their own monsters. One of them is a much better designer than the other, but they both have designed zombies. And so this time, we are going to give you a sneak peek of their designs, and I'm going to show you Emery's zombie and Jackson's zombie, and they're both absolutely adorable. And then throughout future Flosstubes, I will show you their other creations. To date, Jackson has designed spiders, and he's working on designing the Mothman. He said, "Mom, what are some other scary Halloween monsters?" I said, "Mermaids." He said, "Mom, what are some scary Halloween monsters?" I was like, "Mermaids are completely scary." He wasn't going for it. So then I was like, "Gargoyles." And he was like, "I don't want to do a gargoyle." And I was like, "Well, the Mothman was scary." And so now he's designing the Mothman. He's done spiders, and he's done a werewolf, and he's done a vampire. And now he's designing the Mothman. Emery has done a very big pink dragon. He's done the slime monster. He's made a few Pokemon. So you'll be probably seeing those. They're pretty excited. They're pretty excited about that. So I hope you guys enjoy the designings of my 8 and 9-year-old. Like, they're free. If you guys want to stitch them, you certainly can. They're really quite adorable. So I hope you guys are having a great fall, a great autumn. Keep your head up in all this chaos, because sometimes life can be hard. And we will see you next Flosstube. Stay tuned if you want to see the tour around Potter Marsh. And we'll see you next time. Bye! My mom and I are here at Potter Marsh. There she is. And we are going to share the scenery with you. So we are at the far end of the boardwalk. There's two ends. This is the end closer to the parking lot and further away from the road. You will often see moose here, and bear, and especially waterfowl. This is a nesting ground. There will be swallows and eagles and everything in between. In fact, a few years ago, there was a really funny story. People were on the boardwalk, obviously, enjoying their walk, and pretty soon they see some bears coming towards them. This baby bear was on the boardwalk, and he didn't know how to get off. He'd gotten up and didn't know how to get off. And so he was just kind of running around, and people were desperately trying to stay away from him. No one got hurt. The bear got off the boardwalk eventually, and it ended up being a happy ending. But you gotta watch it when you're in Alaska, because there's a lot of wildlife around. You can see the snow is starting to come. This might be my last outside tour video, because like, the snow is coming. I don't want to go outside in the snow. But in Potter Marsh, you can see there's a bunch of flat marshland for the critters to nest in. And then there's a bunch of forest area also. So if we walk over here, we will see a little tiny waterfall, and it's super cute. It's on the next corner. So here's the little tiny waterfall. This feeds into the marsh. And I think there's a little bird down there. So along your way in Potter Marsh, there will be these bird observation areas. They've got little binoculars for you to use. And on the deck, you can just sit here and watch the birds. I've seen everything here from, well, you heard eagles and stuff, but I've also seen gadwalls, and I've seen sandpipers, which are generally more coastal, and I have seen shovelers, northern shovelers, and mergansers, not shoebills, northern shovelers. And they have little bird boxes around the boardwalk. hanging on to encourage the swallows and the chickadees and the smaller birds that would be here. And sometimes when you go to Potter's Marsh, you can see bigger wildlife. Here is a moose right here at Potter Marsh. Apparently there's 2 of them. I don't see the second one. Oh, it's way back there. I see the second one now. So, we just let nature be nature. Enjoy them from a distance. So this is the other side of the boardwalk. There are actually 2 separate areas. You have to get off of that boardwalk and come back and get on this one. This one goes right by the highway, and this is a nature conservation area. So you can see Alaska is super full of nature. It's right outside the city. It's right next to the highway. We just saw moose, and there's this beautiful, beautiful marshland. I hope if you ever do visit Alaska, you get to come here, because this is a really, really nice place. It's peaceful, it's easy walking. You can it's wheelchair accessible, so I hope you come visit one day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your tour, and have a good month. Bye, Flosstube.